Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been just over a month since the riots in England and Northern Ireland, where we saw people chanting, "Stop the boats!" and even attempting to burn down an asylum centre. Some media figures, who arguably helped incite the violence, stayed quiet whilst the attacks on asylum seekers, foreign workers and property took place. But it's very clear that we have got an immigration problem, but setting fire to asylum centres and hotels is not the answer. But now that the dust has settled, it seems they're back to their usual rhetoric, complaining about asylum seekers being housed in hotels. Isabel Oakeshott, the notorious other half of Richard Tice, for example, has returned to her usual talking points, asking whether British taxpayers have a right to know how their money is being spent on asylum seekers.
So this story is about whether you, the listener, and the taxpayer in Britain in general has a right to know how your money is being spent. And in particular, do you have a right to know what's happening to those asylum seekers when they come over? They have to be given a roof over their head, don't we? We know broadly that the government is spending literally millions and millions and millions of pounds, squillions of pounds, on providing, whether it's hotel accommodation or whether it's, I don't know, B&B, anywhere that they can find to accommodate the never-ending stream of migrants coming across the channel and claiming that they need to be fleeing war and persecution, so we need to look after them. So I think, personally, that we do have a right to know where these migrants are being accommodated and what kind of accommodation they're being put in. And actually, up until now, we've had quite a bit of information on this. People will remember the controversy over the Bibby Stockholm. Should they or shouldn't they be accommodated on this converted barge? It seemed to be good enough for British construction workers some years ago. Oil workers, they were quite happy with it. In fact, they were so happy that their employers renewed the contract for the Bibby Stockholm. But no, it was deemed not good enough for asylum seekers. We know that they are being accommodated in certain hotels around the country. In fact, they seem to be in most towns around the country. However, what we don't know is much detail about what goes on behind closed doors.
She talks about the government spending millions and millions of pounds on housing migrants and questions the accommodations they're being given, claiming people have a right to know what asylum seekers' bedrooms look like and what luxuries they might have, such as flat-screen TVs. How dare other members of the human race have luxury items? How dare other members of the human race have basic commodities that the rest of us have? How dare they? It is a bizarre argument. Who even buys non-flat screen TVs anymore? It's like the basic item every home has now. Even people on benefits have flat screen TVs. And why the obsession behind what's with closed doors? Here, Mrs. Isabel Oakeshott's a bit of a dirty perv. That type of rhetoric, focusing on minor details like TVs or what asylum seekers' rooms might look like, seems designed to stir resentment. It feeds exactly into the narrative that asylum seekers are being given luxuries while others struggle. Oakeshott also brought up the Bibby Stockholm barge, which had E. coli, I think, if I recall, which was previously used for British workers, but is no longer being used for asylum seekers. She frames this as an example of double standards. If it was good enough for workers, why isn't it good enough for asylum seekers? This kind of frame is a classic tactic of creating division, painting the asylum seekers as getting something they don't deserve. The truth is, though, when asylum seekers are housed in buildings, those places cease to be hotels in the typical sense. They don't have room service, they don't have daily cleaning or the other amenities associated with hotels. But Oakeshott and others use the words hotel to invoke an image of luxury, which then misleads people into thinking asylum seekers are being treated like vacationers when in reality they're living in basic conditions. This kind of rhetoric was rampant in the lead up to the riots, and now it's coming back again. Whilst the far-right figures kept their heads down during the violence, now it's all calmed down, they've reared their heads again, resuming the same old inflammatory arguments that they've always been peddling. They complain about the cost of housing asylum seekers, yet they don't take the simple step of submitting a Freedom of Information request to find out about how much money is actually being spent. Instead, they just sit in their studios, feeding the same divisive language that helped stoke the flames of those riots in the first place. This isn't about genuine concern for public money or immigration or the immigration system itself. It's about pushing an agenda. And when violence happens, they're very quick to say it's got nothing to do with them. They hide behind the guise of simply ask questions, whilst their language subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, encourages hostility. But anyway, I've been Jake from Just Jake. Tell me what you think. Do you think that people like Isabel Oakeshott are using divisive language and that we should be encouraging at least the basic humane treatment of immigrants themselves until they are dealt with through our very poor system, in all fairness? But anyway, I've been Jake from Just Jake. As always, make love, not war, because if you dare come to England on one of those boats, we'll turn you back around. You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.